everyone and welcome to a new reading vlog. I am starting off this vlog with a shorter update because I actually really need to go. My cousin Adriana is actually in a local fair today. She has a stall for her small business which is called Earrings by Adriana if any of you are interested. I will put the link to the shop's Instagram down below for you guys, so please do check them out. She does hand make them all, and so each pair of earrings she makes is obviously unique and different, and yeah, she does do custom orders as well. So she has some stock, she's going to a local fair, and Tom and I have decided to go out there and show her some support. So it's actually not too far away from us. We are going to take Kiwi as well. We are going to walk her there and back just to kind of kill two birds with one stone. It's not the best weather though. It's a little bit rainy, but it's also boiling, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's about a 40-minute walk there and then a 40-minute walk back. Don't know how much time we'll spend there. I feel like we'll see a lot of people that we know, so it's probably going to take up a lot of the day, but yeah, it's just so exciting. I'm really proud of her. She's doing amazing with her business, and yeah, like I mentioned, I will have everything linked down below for you guys, so please do check it out. Even if you just give her page a follow, it would mean the world. But reading wise, I do have two books here that I want to talk about. These are the last two books that I plan on reading in June. I'm cutting it quite close because it's currently the 27th, so we don't have a lot of time, but I am still in the middle of Frozen Tides. I did pick this up in one of my last vlogs, however I just wasn't feeling it at the time. I've only read, oh, I thought I'd only read about 30 pages, but I've read 100, which is not bad, so I definitely want to continue on with this one. For those of you who don't know, this is the fourth book in the Falling Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, which is essentially a YA take on Game of Thrones. In this one we follow four main characters who are essentially stuck in a war between three different kingdoms, and they of course have to make some really horrible, tough decisions throughout, which will either aid in this war or will help them stand against it. Now, not only that, we also have quite a complex magic system in here. We have a prophecy at the start of the first book where it mentions that the most powerful sorceress in years is going to be born, and that sorceress is going to have the power to wield the kindred. Now, the kindred is the source of all magic, and it's essentially what keeps magic in balance and what gives life to magical beings. So we have watchers in here who are immortal beings. They live apart from the humans in the sanctuary, so it's completely separate, and they can't leave the sanctuary, otherwise they sacrifice their immortality. But a cat they can leave in the form of hawks, and so they have been scouting out the human realm trying to find this sorceress, and it seems that they may have now found her. I feel like that's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet, but by reaching this book I'm now over halfway through in the series, and yeah, I don't know why I haven't been picking this one up this month. I've just been in a very weird reading mood, but I'm hoping I can get back into it. It's a very fast read, and from what I've read so far I am once again enjoying it. And then the second book that I plan on reading is The Dive by Sarah Ox. This is what the actual cover looks like. I do have an ARC copy. I've mentioned this quite a lot in a few of my videos recently because I've just been so excited for it, and I will just read you the synopsis because I haven't started it yet and I don't quite know how to sum it up. But it says, escape to Paradise, leave your secrets behind, but don't get lost forever. Scuba diving instructor Cass leads her student out for their first dive off the beautiful coast of Koh Sang, Thailand's world-famous party island. It's supposed to be a life-changing experience, but things quickly spiral out of control. By the time she gets back to the shore, one of her students is dead, another badly injured, and she knows that her idyllic life is about to be smashed to pieces on the rocks. Someone has discovered Cass's secret, and on an island as remote as this, accidents happen. Plenty of backpackers choose to stay here forever, but some are never heard from again. As you can tell, this is a thriller. I love my thrillers, especially when they're set abroad for some reason. And this is actually based off of a true event. So the author was actually in Thailand and she was trying to get her scuba certification when she heard about either an unsolved death or an unsolved murder. I believe that two people were killed. I will have to double check the letter that came with this. And unfortunately, what happened to them remains unsolved. So the author, after coming back to the UK, just couldn't get this story out of her mind, and she kind of wrote this book based off of that. So that's really interesting. You guys know that I am into my true crime, so it will be interesting to read this book and then do a bit of research on the case and see what I do find out. I wasn't meant to talk for long, but I have been rambling on. So yeah, these are the two books I'm going to focus on. I am going to go to the fair today. I have a busy week this week. I have a lot of meetings. I'm getting my hair dyed as well, and I've got a lot of gym sessions to pack in before my birthday celebrations start on Saturday. If you don't know, my birthday's on July 3rd, and yeah, I'm just so excited. So a busy week. Hopefully I get a lot of reading done though, but for now I actually really do have to leave, and I will of course take you guys along with us as we have what will hopefully be a nice day out. guys, I'm not gonna lie, once again, it's been a while since I first started this vlog. You can probably tell that because the last time I spoke to you, I said I was getting my hair done, which I did. This is my new hair. However, it has already started to grow out because it has been about 2-3 weeks since I started this vlog, which I'm actually so embarrassed by. But I have genuinely had some of the busiest weeks of my life. So many life things have popped up. I have finished teaching now for the year. For those of you who don't know, I got a new teaching job over Easter and I have been essentially trying to make the classroom my own. We are a very small school in the middle of nowhere, and so we're trying to make do with what we have, but I have managed to get some furniture from places and things like that. So I have been spending a lot more time at the school trying to sort out my classroom because there's about 20 years worth of stuff in there that I really don't need and don't want, and it's just gotten to the point where it's so overwhelming that it's just taking a while to get through. So I have been staying at work a lot longer. I have also just been busy with the end of term in general. We've had a school trip. It was Sophie, my stepsister's graduation as well, which was lovely, and now we are finally into the summer holidays, so I feel like I can sit down, have a chill and get back on track with my reading because I genuinely haven't read anything, guys, and I'm really annoyed about it. So I do have some updates. I say I haven't read anything. I do have a few updates. I'm up to part 2 now of The Last Argument of Kings. I do have my catch-up book club bookmark in there as well, but yeah, I have made it more or less halfway. I'm definitely enjoying this one more than I did the second one. That book was such a disappointment for me, but luckily the pacing seems to have increased in this one and I'm finally seeing some more plot and character development, which is nice to see. I honestly have no idea how this is going to end. I feel like we have theorized so much as a book club and we have come up with so many different possible outcomes that I feel like it's actually going to be quite disappointing and it's not going to be that well thought out just from where we are now, because as I mentioned, I'm over halfway through. We only have about 300 pages left and there is a lot to wrap up, so I'm a bit apprehensive about it. I am listening to the audiobook, I don't know if I mentioned, so I am hoping to power through with this one and read as much as I can. But honestly, I just don't have too much to say about it because it's the third book in a series. I can't really say too much anyway without spoiling it, but I'm just not loving this trilogy as much as I thought I would, and I feel like there is so much hype around it and I just don't know why. This is meant to be one of the most amazing fantasy trilogies out there, and so far I found it quite disappointing. I did enjoy the first book, but the second one was such a letdown and this one is just okay. Nothing has happened to make me go, wow, that was amazing, you know? So I'm still holding out for that. Hopefully it will pop up and I will get that feeling, but yeah. For now, it is a little bit disappointing and I'm just not sure where it's going to go from here. And then I have also made a little bit of progress with the dive, not too much. I'm up to page 70. I don't currently have a bookmark in, but this is one that I just need to sit down and dedicate some time to. I've been picking it up here and there, but I feel like this needs my full attention. So I am planning on sitting down tonight to try and read a bit more of this because just from the get-go, I'm really enjoying this book. Nothing has happened so far, it's all kind of set up and we're getting to know the characters, but this book has two perspectives in it. We have Cass, who is a permanent on the island, and we have Brooke, who is a travel influencer that finds herself going to the island to kind of get a break from her old life. So far we have seen them start to interact. The setting of this is beautiful. The pacing and writing style as well is something that I am really enjoying. I feel like as soon as the death in this does happen, it's just going to kick into gear and I'm not going to want to put it down because it genuinely feels like I could be in Thailand right now reading this book. The imagery is just so vivid and it's so well done that I can genuinely feel it, and I would love to be there with these characters on this remote, isolated island away from everyone. That is, of course, until someone gets murdered, then I would haul ass and get out of there, but yeah, so far I am really enjoying it. Not too much to say again with this one because I'm not far enough in to give you guys any solid opinions, but as I mentioned, my plan tonight is to sit down and read some more of this book. Hopefully I can read 100 to 200 pages. That would be a really good amount of pages to read. This book is about 350 pages, so if I could do that it would be very good going and I could finish it off tomorrow, but we'll see with that because as I mentioned, I just haven't been in the reading mood lately, and you guys know when I say I'm gonna read, I never do, so hopefully that's not the case. But yes, a little bit more updates on these two books for you. I'm so sorry that I've just kind of disappeared these last few weeks, but I've genuinely just been so busy, drained and tired that when I get home from work I just haven't been wanting to sit down and read for one, or sit down and film some clips for you guys. So hopefully I'm getting over that now. I feel like the summer holidays are going to do me a world of good, and I can't wait to continue on with this vlog and give you guys some more thoughts on the books that I'm currently reading and books that I will hopefully pick up towards the end of the week as well, because I do have some plans. We are nearing the end of July and I've barely made a dent in my July TBR, so I'm hoping that I can fly through these 2 books and pick up another 1, maybe even 2 if I'm being extremely ambitious, but I'm jumping the gun right now. I need to focus on these 2 books before I even attempt to pick up another one. So I'm gonna end this clip here for now. I don't know whether I'll update you guys tonight or whether I will leave it till tomorrow, but it's a lovely rainy evening. I'm gonna go and change into my pajamas in a second and cozy up on the sofa with a cup of tea and with kiwi so that I can read my book without any distractions and hopefully get through a good chunk of it. Right guys, I do have some reading updates for you, but I do just quickly want to apologise because, as I mentioned in the previous clip, it has been a while since I first filmed the intro to this vlog, and because of that I had completely given you an update about Last Argument of Kings without even mentioning that I was reading it. So the book that I spoke about at the start of this vlog was Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes, and for some reason I thought I was talking about The Last Argument of Kings, so I'm really sorry if you guys were confused by that. I was very confused whilst editing because, yeah, I just did not know that I hadn't spoken about this book, and I didn't know that Frozen Tides was the book that I spoke about because I actually hadn't picked this up for quite a while. But as you can see, I have read quite a bit of it. I'm on page 299 at the minute, so I have this little bit left. I think it's about 100 pages, so I should fly through that later on. But yeah, I'm so sorry about that. My brain has just been all over the place, but we're getting back on track. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. But I am so happy to say that I am finally picking up this series again. Now at the start of the year I was flying through these. I was reading at least 1 book in the series per month, and then I've been reading this book now for, I want to say, 3, maybe 4 months, and I honestly couldn't tell you why. I flew through the first few books. I really did enjoy them. This is a series where you don't really have to, I don't want to say pay attention to it because obviously you do, but it's such a fast-paced series that you can fly through because this is, I'd say, on the kind of younger age of young adult, and even though there's a lot happening, because it lacks that complexity, you do find yourself just reading it very quickly. So I was flying through them, as I mentioned, and then for some reason this book just completely stumped me. I was really struggling to pick it up. When I was picking it up I wasn't really bothered to read it, and then I just kept putting it down. But I'm very happy to say that the other day I did sit down and I read about 200 pages in one sitting, so I seem to be over my Falling Kingdom slump, which I am so happy about. I'm notoriously bad at starting series and then just never carrying on with the final books, and as I mentioned, this is the 4th book, so I'm over halfway now. Once I've read this one I only have 2 books left, so I do want to make it a priority this year to finish off this series because I have really enjoyed my time reading them. Now I will say I'm not too sure if this series needed to be 6 books long. I feel like that is my issue at the minute, is that the first book, obviously you're thrown into this new world, everything's happening, it's quite gory, there's a lot of deaths, it's very high stakes, and I was just drawn into it straight away. We have the magic as well, of course, and as the series has gone on it just seems like there's so much filler, which again would be fine if it was just 1 or 2 books, but I feel like the last 3 books that I've read have just been filler books. Nothing's really happening. I suppose it is moving us from one place to the next, but I feel like we're just going to all these different places but nothing is actually happening and the plot isn't really moving forward. So I feel like that has been my issue, is that I don't want to say it's boring because there is stuff going on and the magic is developing and I am really interested in that still, but I just feel like because there's so much filler, that is why the author has now started killing more and more people off. I feel like a lot of people are dying in this series for no reason and it doesn't really serve the plot at all. So I don't want to say that I'm getting frustrated with the series, but it is just very convenient. There are a lot of unnecessary deaths. I think it just wants to be a brutal series, but then it doesn't actually serve a purpose, which is a bit of a shame. And yeah, it has started to drag a little for me now. I just want it to move along a little bit faster, and I feel like if this was a trilogy or a quartet, maybe that would have been better, but I haven't read the last 2 books obviously, so I can't give you my overall thoughts on the series as a whole. But I am really glad that I have started reading this one again. I am enjoying my time reading it, and as I mentioned, I sat down and read 200 pages in one sitting, which just shows you how fast-paced of a book this is. Now this is one that I would actually like to try and finish tonight. I do have about 100 pages left, maybe just over 100 pages of this, so I do think that it's possible for me to finish this one tonight. I do need to take Kiwi for a walk quickly, and then as you can tell by my outfit, I am heading off to the gym, so I won't get back until about 8:30. It's currently 20 to 6 now. So yeah, I think once I come home from the gym, I'm gonna have a shower, have my tea, and then go to bed and read this book. And then hopefully I can finally finish it, because this has genuinely been daunting me ever since I first put it down. I've tried to pick it up so many times and it's just kept staring at me from the corner of my room. So the fact that I've picked it up, I've conquered my fear, I've sat down and read it, yeah, I'm just extremely happy. So that is the plan for tonight. And then I am going to mention this book once again, which is Last Argument of Kings. I have actually finished this book now. I made it a priority to just get it done because I really wanted to watch the live show discussion of this book, and I'm really happy that I did. Unfortunately, I'm not too happy with the series. I just feel like it was boring. Like, nothing really happened. I was expecting so much more from this, and the fact that we've been theorizing so much and that we had so many different opinions as to what was going to happen, where this book was going to go, what the characters were going to do, what was going to happen with the magic, we just didn't get any of that. And I feel like if a group of us who aren't writers can sit down and theorize these things, surely an author that is considered Lord Grimdark, who is one of the best fantasy writers out there apparently, can come up with a more complex plot than what we were given. I liked the first book, and I know I said in my review of that nothing really happened there, but we got to see so much of the characters there and the intrigue was there, which is why you carried on reading to see where it was going to go. Book 2 was a letdown because oh my gosh guys, they spent the whole book trying to go to the places they needed to go, but then when they got to those places, the thing that they were chasing wasn't even there. So we spent a whole book going to somewhere that was pointless and it didn't serve anything to the plot. So that was why book 2 didn't work for me. I think I give it 3 stars, but again, I enjoyed the characters. This one, I feel like I liked it better than book 2, but not a lot more. The characters are definitely what to save the series for me. However, I just feel like in this one, people acted so differently, and I feel like they just had a really big change in character. Things were happening that were just kind of not brushed over, but they were happening so quickly and they weren't really given that much attention. It was just like, oh, this has happened, and then, oh, it doesn't matter because this person's locked away now, so they can't do anything. And it's just like, oh, what is the whole point of all this setup? You've told us something that was relevant in book 1 and is now coming to light, and then in the span of like 2 pages you're like, oh yeah, but that threat's gone now. It's just, it's like you've put in so much work only to just be given nothing. And yeah, I think myself and a lot of other people have been quite frustrated with it. I do love the audiobooks, the narrator is fantastic, but I am debating whether I want to carry on with this series, because as you can see I do have these physical books, but I have been listening to these on Audible, and I pay £7.99 a month for Audible, which gives me 1 credit to buy a book. So I've spent just over £22 on these 3 books on Audible, and to not enjoy the series has been a really big letdown. So I don't know whether I want to continue doing that, to be honest, because I feel like it is just going to be a waste of money if I don't enjoy these books. These physical editions were ones that were actually very kindly sent to me. I won these in a Twitter giveaway, so I didn't pay for these physical books. And just from my experience with this one, I don't want to purchase the next few books physically and then not enjoy it and then purchase the audiobooks. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma. If you've read these books, please do let me know if the series gets better. I thought I would love this one, especially after the first book. I thought it could only get better and better, but yeah, unfortunately I just really haven't enjoyed it, and it's such a shame because I was just thinking, surely something's gonna happen now. Surely we're gonna see something get resolved. Surely this isn't how this ends, you know? And I don't know, we just left some characters in weird places. Things happened, as I mentioned, that were out of character as well, and everything was just kind of wrapped up really quickly. So I don't know my rating for this one. It's gonna be higher than the second book, but I think I am just gonna give this 3.5 stars. It's no way a 4, but I haven't really thought of a proper rating. I may watch the live shows again. I may look into some more discussions about these books and see what people think. I may sit on it for a while and then come up with a final rating. You guys will see this one pop up in my wrap up, so by that point I will have come to a decision. But yeah, unfortunately I'm really sad. I didn't love this one as much as I thought I would, and I am not sure whether I do want to carry on with the rest of the books in the world of the First Law. On a more positive note though, we have The Dive, and guys, I can't remember where I was up to when I last updated you, but I'm on page 230 now. I'm up to chapter 27 and I want to say I have about 150 pages left. So I managed to read a good chunk of this book. This is so gripping. I struggled a bit with the first kind of 100 pages. It was a lot of setup, nothing was really happening. We got introduced to quite a lot of characters, but guys, when that first death occurred, everything just moved so quickly, and I kind of knew it would, but I'm so glad it did, because I've been hyping up this book on my channel for a while. I've just thought it sounded amazing, and a lot of you guys have wanted to hear my opinions on it, and I'm so happy to say that at the minute I am very much enjoying it. I am a bit scared though, because I do tend to feel let down by a lot of thrillers and their endings, so I'm hoping that this one delivers. But unfortunately I can't tell you too much about this one. I've told you that it's 2 perspectives, but we also follow a big group of characters on this island. We have a death that occurs which is kind of brushed under the rug and is told to be an accident to everyone, because this place is obviously meant to be a very popular tourist destination, and if someone has been murdered, that will of course put people off. So the authorities and the people working at the hotel have kind of come up with a solution that this person just died by accident, and that was that. But then someone else dies and more questions are raised, and then from this point onwards the people on the island all seem to be a lot more suspicious. They all seem to have secrets in their past that they've of course run away from. That is why most of them are on this island, to kind of get a fresh start and to be away from what they've left behind, and we are slowly starting to see people's true colours come out. The pacing of this is fantastic. I really do like the dual perspective as well. I kind of wish that we got more perspectives actually. I would have liked to see some of the other side characters kind of get their input into what is going on, because yeah, I just feel like that would be interesting, but then again that might be a bit too much then. The suspense might not be there, but this is so good. We've just had a really big revelation and I don't know how to feel about it. It's kind of blown me away, to be honest with you, and yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm excited to see the fallout from that, and of course what actually happened to the people who have died, why they have died, and who was behind it, because I still actually don't really have a clue. But the setting in this is just beautiful. I can definitely feel like I'm there sometimes, which sounds stupid because I'm currently looking out my window and it's raining, which is typical weather in Wales. But yeah, I would do anything to be on this beach right now, on this island, not involved in the murders, but yeah, you definitely get transported there and you can feel like you are there. Of course, Zara Ox has actually been to this island, or at least an island on Thailand, so she is very familiar with the layout and you can definitely tell. So at the minute this is looking very promising. As I mentioned, I have about 150 pages left. You can see that I'm playing with this book because it's just so floppy, so I'm sorry if I'm distracting you with that, but yeah, I am really happy to be enjoying this. I cannot wait to finish it. Ideally, I again would love to carry on with this tonight, but I am going to make frozen tides a priority, and then maybe if I finish that quickly I can pick this one up, but knowing me, I will be too tired, especially after a session at the gym, so this will probably get read tomorrow morning, and yeah, I will pop in then and give you my final thoughts, because I've been chatting for way too long. I need to go and I feel like you'll be sick of hearing my voice, so I'm gonna end this clip here and I will pop back in once I finish these books. guys, ignore the crazy hair and Kiwi here. She has decided to join me, so yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. You are also very precariously balanced on my sofa bed right now, so if the angle's a bit funny, if it's a little bit wobbly, especially because of the dog here, then I do apologise. But as I mentioned, I do have some reading updates for you guys, and I am so happy to say that I have finally finished these two books. Let's start off with Frozen Tides. I did manage to finish this one last night after coming home from the gym. Let me tell you guys, that session last night was absolutely insane. I was in bits, and honestly that evening was just lovely. Coming home, having a shower, having my dinner, and then just jumping straight into bed and reading this book was just amazing, as I mentioned, and it's definitely something that I do want to try and incorporate more into my routine. So I did smash out the last 100 pages or so of this, and oh my goodness, you guys, everything happened. I did mention in the last clip that I just wasn't really drawn to this for some reason. The first half of this book was very slow, nothing much actually happened. We had a few deaths that were just kind of thrown in there once again, but didn't really add anything to the story. I think it was just in there for shock value. However, the second half of this book was amazing. I didn't want to put it down. The characters are all dealing with a lot of different trauma, and seeing them try to come to terms with that and deal with what's going on around them with the other characters involved as well was really interesting. There was stuff that happened that I just couldn't believe. So many times I was kind of gasping, or I was like, no way, and I was trying to read faster just so I could see what was going on. And yeah, the pacing just seemed to pick up. We are definitely in a better place for the next book now. I'm a lot more excited to get to that one, and hopefully I can pick it up soon so that I don't fall into this weird kind of slump again. Now, of course, I can't tell you too much more than that, unfortunately, because it is the middle of a series, but yeah, I'm conflicted, guys, because it took me 3 months to read the first kind of 200-300 pages, and then the last 100 pages I just flew through so quickly. So I'm not sure. I don't know whether to give this a 3 or a 4. The 4-star is just for the ending, really, because as I mentioned, I was just sucked in. I didn't want to put this book down. Stuff has happened now where once again the safety of the kingdom is put in jeopardy. We have a lot of different elements at play, and we have a lot of different people in power that want to take over, and the magic in this as well is only growing more and more complicated and more dangerous. So yeah, I am very happy to have read this one. We only have one more book before the conclusion, so maybe I'll feel this way about the 5th book, and then hopefully for the 6th book I will love it. But yeah, very happy to have read this now. It's been on my TBR for about 3 months, as I mentioned, and yeah, I'm glad that this vlog kind of forced me to do that, because otherwise I think I would have just put it down and not picked it back up again. And then we have The Dive by Sarah Ox. This was fantastic, guys. The ending in this one as well was just crazy, but in a good way. The final chapter though, I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry, but I'd finished the books, and then we have a kind of epilogue that is completely separate to the characters that we've been following, and stuff is revealed there that just had me absolutely gobsmacked. Like seriously, I was just, yeah, I just don't know how to feel about it. I don't know if that means we'll be getting a sequel to this one following some different characters, I'm not too sure, but oh my gosh, this was just insane. It was so good. The mystery was so complex. It did kind of make sense why everything went on. As I mentioned, we follow a large cast of characters. They all have secrets from their past, and the first death in this kind of leads on to the rest of them because of things that have happened in the past and people trying to protect people is all I'm gonna say. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but it's so hard to talk about a thriller because yeah, it's just all a big mystery, and now that I know how it all wraps up, it was just crazy. It was intense. It was quite sad actually. Of course, I'm not going to go into why, but yeah, I did feel a connection to these characters. As I mentioned, I loved the dual POV that we got. But yeah, it definitely would have been interesting seeing what went on through the eyes of some of the other characters. But all in all, this was a solid thriller. I would highly recommend it to you guys. I think I've given it 4 stars on Goodreads just because I didn't feel like it's like my new favourite book in the world, but it was such a well done thriller. The setting was fantastic. The writing was really good as well, and the cast of characters in this is just so complex that you genuinely don't know who is behind everything and also why as well. So there we have it, guys. We had a 3-star book, not the best, a letdown for me unfortunately. We had a 3.5, let's say, for now, which the beginning was a drag, but the end of this was, I'm not sure if I'm gonna say it was worth it, but it definitely made up for it. And then we have a 4-star book, but I might bump it up if I think about it, to be honest with you guys, which was The Dive. So all in all, I feel like I had a pretty kind of middle of the road week, but I'm so glad that all of these are now ticked off of my TBR. I have honestly loved filming this vlog for you guys again. I know that I left it quite long between the first clip and now, essentially, and I am sorry about that, but hopefully the rest of it made up for it. Again, I'm sorry for just completely forgetting what I said in that first clip as well and showing you a random book in the second clip and not talking about Frozen Tides again. But hopefully we got back on track. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have made it this far through and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me some scuba diving emojis down below. With this being my favourite book out of the 3, it's just fitting that we have a scuba diving emoji or some fish or the ocean, anything like that, because it would definitely sum up this vlog very well. I know I say it all the time, but seeing you guys comment the emoji of the video truly does mean the world to me. It blows me away that you guys watch these all the way through. So if you are still here but don't have anything in particular that you would like to say, please do go ahead and do that now. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. But that is it for me today, guys. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!